Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR prepping and welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. You already know what time it is, baby. Get your drink, pull up. Let's talk about it. Okay, so it's pretty early here. We've already kind of gotten our morning chores out of the way as far as animals that we have. Snacks, treats. It's actually snowing here. Not crazy out of control. A little bit of stickage, but definitely nothing. Like it'll probably be gone in a couple hours. Weather lately, really weather for the last couple of years has been crazy, but weather has been extremely different, we'll say, in the last few, even this last year since we've been back at the house. It's March tomorrow and it's snowing, and when you look at the weather, we've had 20s and 30s, and that's going all into next week, still 20s. And so I'm just feeling a little like I hope we're not going to be behind, the schedule. I don't know. Last frost is supposed to be like April 1st. So I don't know that I believe that though, you guys. That's technically about a month away from now. So I'm not sure. Anyway, let's get into today's video. Today, I just wanted to go into a little bit of a food video, a little bit of changes, things that you should expect, and how to prepare for there to be changes in our food. The following things are happening and are going to continue to happen that affect your food, and you need to kind of prepare accordingly and make sure that you're doing things in a way that makes sense with the things that are happening. A lot of the stuff we've talked about from time to time, but it's nice to have a little bit of a reminder. I went to the store yesterday. I have not been to the store in months. We've had a few orders, or maybe hubby's gone out. We've gotten some just very small, when I say small hauls, I'm talking about just the weekly stuff, just like some lunch meat, some cheese, the creamer. Very, very low, minimal stuff. It has been months since I went out and did any kind of large shopping, even a quarter of a cart type of shopping. Like that just does not happen as much as it used to. And a lot of that is because the food is changing. Things are changing with our food. So let's get into the things that I think you should expect. Some expectations or changes in this food war is emptier shelves. I went to the store yesterday, wanted to kind of see how are things looking. It was interesting because certain things completely cleaned out. And when I asked, hey, has this been cleaned out for a while? The answer from all the workers was yes, we haven't had that for months. An example was chili. I went to the chili aisle. Really, I wasn't looking for chili. I just was in the aisle looking at all the aisles. And I noticed that the chili was cleaned out. There was like one little brand, and even that brand did not have that much left, right? Maybe a couple cases of flats, right? Out of this whole entire area that's for chili. And after talking to a worker, they're like, yeah, we haven't had the main brands for months, meaning we haven't even gotten it to stock it, right? This hole has been here this whole time. And so that was interesting, right? People are going, I think, for those canned goods, those things that are quick to eat. A chili is a very good meal in regards to it's got beans, it's got meat, it's very, very filling, right? So if you talk about a family that is, food security is an issue right now, and they can't buy that much, buying foods that fill bellies up for as long as possible is super important, okay? And chili is one of those things. Another section that I thought was crazy, and there was no crazy sales going on, is the whole entire beef section was obliterated. And I was like, oh, did I miss out on the sale, right? No sales. Yes, there was beef, very, very small. I mean, when I say like rolls of hamburger, the rolls are really, really cheap, rolls of hamburger. There was maybe like 5 rolls, you guys. There was a few steaks, there was a few things, but it was totally cleared out. And I asked, oh, what's wrong? The truck just hasn't come? And they're like, no, we just been down on beef lately. So just stuff, you have to pay attention to the things that are going on around you, especially if it's an item that you eat and use. You need to be going out and paying attention and seeing those changes. So empty your shelves. And some of you are probably like, oh, well, no, duh, Tasha. It's been empty shelves for years. We've been battling empty shelves. But some people are just kind of catching on now. Number 2 thing I have is more recalls. The recalls are out of control. Like, I can't even keep up with the recalls. I don't even care about the recalls. That's how much I'm so complacent. There's so many recalls. Every single day I get a notification about a recall, and I'm over it. A recall, you should get a recall before, back in the future, and that was like back in the future. That was like a big deal, right? You get a recall, it's like, whoa, everything stopped. Do you have that? Clear it out. And now recalls are every other day. Highly suspicious. I just do not like it, and I'm not getting rid of anything. I'm so sick of the recalls. It's out of control. Number 3 is everything expires sooner. You know, you can't get fruit if you don't eat that fruit within 12 hours. It's a goner. I mean, it used to be you could just put it in the fridge and it would make it last a little bit longer, or you could do like a vinegar wash or some kind of wash that would help it. Put it in the fridge and you could make it even last, you know, eat something on the counter would last weeks, but you could put it in the fridge and it could last months, baby. Okay. Those hacks are long gone, right? Fruit and vegetables are trash. The quality is trash. The amount you're getting is trash. It expires right away. It's horrible. It's hard to pay for something that you know you better eat it within 12 hours. The days of having lush fruit and vegetables, like, you know, you have, like I have, you know, a really nice hanging basket, macaroni. It's so nice. It's earthy. It's beautiful. Used to fill it with all types of lemons and limes and oranges and apples and all this stuff, right? And then the fridge, berries and, you know, pears and avocados and just all this stuff, right? And have it just ready to go, so that whatever you were cooking, you could just grab something fresh, cut it up, put it in your meal. Awesome, right? Kids could eat fresh fruits and vegetables. I can't even keep it long enough for the kids and everybody to eat it, right? They have to eat everything I buy within 12 hours or it's a wrap, right? So, you know, I find myself a lot of times just stuff's about to go, so I'm giving it to chickens, right? Or I'm bringing in everybody, like, look, if you guys don't eat this, it's about to go. Like, it's quick. Or we bring in groceries and it's like, you better do this quick. So those days of having just all this lush fruit and vegetables around is not a thing anymore. Unless you're growing that yourself, that's how you're getting that. That's how you're building those reserves back up. That's how you're building, you know, your root cellars and stuff back up to where we do not even have to go to a grocery store for fruits and vegetables. That's where you want to get to, a place of where you have your fruit trees, you have your fruit bushes, you have your vegetables that you're growing, and that's the stuff you have. Or you have that stuff that you preserve that you could pull off the shelf, and that is better than buying fresh fruit. And certain stores are better than others, but it's just horrible. Number 4 is not good quality. I mean, we just discussed this a little bit. You know, expect you're not going to get the best of the best anymore. Just period, point blank, you're just not. Number 5 thing I got is discontinued items. You know, you might be used to using something, eating a certain snack, eating a certain, you know, prepackaged, whatever it is, flavor of something, and it's no longer going to be there. You're seeing companies cut back because they need money. They don't have the money and resources to spend on these specialty projects, and so you're just going to see them just merely not be on the shelf anymore. You're not going to be able to get them anymore, and until they start making money is when you start seeing the more stuff come out, right? If you're seeing companies now come out with different flavors of different things, it's because they're trying to entice you again and get you excited, because their sales are lower and they're actually taking a chance of, let's bring something out newer that maybe we can re-engage with the consumer again, because things are so expensive and it's hard for people to wrap their heads around about, you know, paying $7 for a bag of chips, right? It's difficult, right? And so you're going to see stuff discontinued and not have it anymore, but you're also going to see certain companies, their strategy is going to be to come up with something new to try to entice you to come back to, hey, we've got this new thing, come back to us and spend your money with us. Next thing I have is increase in payment. Obviously, inflation, right? Stuff's going through the roof. You know, there's stuff because of inflation you're just going to have to say no to, like, oh, we just don't buy that anymore because of inflation. It's just too much. Or at the time, if it's not on sale, it's just too much. I cannot do it. It's very, very hard for me to buy. Even some of the kids' snacks now are just atrocious with the amount of money that they want, and so it's like I just can't do it anymore. So you're gonna have to make decisions due to money. I mean, families are making decisions on food and stuff they put on the table and lights, right? I mean, heat. This is real, right? This is the struggle is out there for people, and inflation is not helping. It's going to get worse, but you're going to see an increase. Number 7 I have is cooking is going to change. You know, cooking has changed, right? So say you're a cook, you're somebody who cooks meals, you've always cooked in the kitchen, you've always cooked from scratch, like you're a cook, right? The thing is that in the last, let's say 20 years, cooking has changed in the regards to, yeah, you're a cook, but as products have come out over the decades, let's say, you've used those pre-made things that make your cooking, life easier, quicker, shortcuts to stuff. You've bought this pre-made stuff. And even though you're a cook and you cook a meal, a lot of that meal is made from pre-made items, right? And so you have to think that our cooking is going to change because one, either those items go away or those items are there but they're too expensive. So it makes sense to make meals from whole items instead of buying these shortcuts and buying these pre-made things that made life easier, right? It made life easier. Even though you're the cook, it made life easier being able to do that. But making it yourself might make more sense. Grabbing making hamburgers yourself is way cheaper, you guys, than store-bought hamburgers. Hamburger patties are not cheap, okay? I don't care where you go. Yes, can you find a sale? Sure, but they are not cheap, okay? And so, plus you make it yourself. You can season it yourself. It tastes better most times. So just really, and oftentimes you can get ground hamburger on sale if you wait for some sales, even decent hamburger, not, the stuff that's just horrible, right? So think about what you can do in regards to your cooking, pulling back, and realizing that game is going to change. Pre-made stuff that you got, that's going to change, right? Either it's going to change in a way where you don't have it, or it's going to be too expensive. And so learning how to really take it back a step further is going to be a thing. So cooking is going to change. Number 8 thing I have is prepare to preserve. Get the things needed now to be able to preserve food in the future. I don't care if that's airtight containers for your snacks, if that's glass jars to put stuff in, if that's keeping glass jars, if that's getting into water bathing, and make your jams and jellies, and tell yourself you're not going to buy jam or jelly anymore. Again, super expensive to buy a jar of jelly from the store. It's not cheap. And so think about the fruit you could buy. Make sure you get the fruit when it's on sale. Get the fruit on sale. Boil it down, get it preserved, get it in jars, water bathe it, boom, done. Have several jars of jam or jelly, okay, on the shelf. And now you can take jam or jelly off the list as far as your grocery list and don't buy it, right? You don't need to buy it. Spend that money on the berries. Instead of spending $8, $9, $10 on a jar of jelly, buy the berries, buy that amount of berries, cook them down, put them in jars, water bathe them, and be good, okay? It's super easy to do, but get the things for preservation. Get the things to make your life easier and to make your food last the longest. Number 9 thing I have is prepare to grow and raise your own food, right? It's super important. We talk about this a lot, and I know that glossy eyes, and a lot of people are like, well, I can't do it in my area, so it's just one of those things that you keep saying, Tasha, and I'm just going to keep telling you it's impossible where I live. And I understand that. I guess I understand that a little bit, but I'm telling you, I have an indoor garden going right now. You can do simple stuff on a counter. Get you a little arrow garden and just do lettuce. Lettuce by itself, you're going to get a fresher product. It's going to grow as it grows. You can cut it off. It's going to continue to grow. It's just so simple. Or get 2 and do that. Do lettuce, your favorite lettuce in 1, and do just your favorite 4 herbs that you really, really like in seasonings that you use in your cooking a lot, right? Oh, I use oregano a lot. Okay, grow some oregano yourself. Dry it out. You'll have a fresh version. If it's growing out of control, chop it down, dry it out. This is something that you don't even have to have a dehydrator for. You could literally dry it out on a counter, cover it up so bugs don't get to it. Put it in the blender, blend it down, okay, and then boom, you've got a seasoning. You've got a dried herb. I just do not tell yourself you cannot do stuff, because everybody can do stuff, even the smallest place, the smallest. I have a roommate. I have roommates. You have a dresser that you probably could put an arrow garden on and grow heads of lettuce or some herbs, right? You could do this. It just depends on what you want to tell yourself you can do. Yes, maybe you can't raise animals right yet because of where you're at, okay? But there's a lot that you can do. Do what you can do. And then in this sense of the goal, be thinking about the future, because if you have the ability to move at all, if you have the ability to change your life cycle, right? The future of what is going to happen to you and your family is you taking yourself out of the current situation, doing everything you can to take yourself out of that and put yourself somewhere else where you can do this stuff. You can grow food, you can raise food, and bring that life and that future back to your family. Okay. And then the last thing I have is food and farm attacks. Just expect more of that. Expect these distribution plant attacks, attacks on farmers, attacks on, putting down animals, these attacks on, all the aspects. There was the bird feed, then it was fertilizer, then it was this, it was that, eggs cause this, eggs. Listen, Linda, just concentrate on you and yours, and you can't control all these attacks, but just understand that they're going to continue to happen. And it is what it is. We are being attacked. We are being attacked. And it really, at the end of the day, does not matter who is doing the attacking. Just know that it's going to continue to happen. And you push forward with your goals. You push forward with the things that you need to do to make your family safe in the future. And that's it. That's the bottom line. There is nothing else after that. Take everything with a grain of salt. I do not lose sleep with anything. I just sit and watch, and I think about the differences when it comes to our food and these wars. Just from now to the last 2 years, a year and a half, it's just crazy when you start saying out loud all the things that have been happening. It's like, it's just wow. And people say, like, how do the people not see this stuff and understand what's happening? It's because they've already been won over, right? They've already been tricked. They're already in it. They're already in the matrix. It doesn't matter. They can't pull back because they're so far in that they'll never see it. They're never going to see it. And so you just have to chop that up to, they're in that percentage, baby, that unfortunately is not going to make it, is going to have a really hard time if they do make it. And times are going to be tough. And it's all because they couldn't just open their eyes and kind of see the craziness that's happening, but making a choice that, look, that's not the life we're about. That's not what we're going to concentrate on. We're going to concentrate on preparedness, getting our family ready, and building a cycle of self-sufficiency. Everything you do should be thinking about self-sufficiency. How does the circle keep going in order to continue to take care of you and yours? And that's your garden cycle, that's your animal cycle, that's your family cycle, that's what you guys put into it. It's everything combined together, that cycle, and what can feed something else, what can provide for something else, and you're trying to build this circle. Okay. It's hard. I mean, it's the dream, right? It's the dream. And a lot of people are like, it's the dream, but I can't do it. But I tell you what, like, you're not going to tell me anything. Like, if I'm in an apartment, first of all, I prepped for years in an apartment. But if I was in a situation where I was in an apartment forever, then I'm probably trying to get the best apartment that I could possibly find. I'm trying to move to the best located apartment I can get, situationally, to be able to hunker down apartment that I can get, the most fortified, the place that will help me be for and have a place of fortification, the place that's big enough to have crazy storage and dressers and shelving and creative furniture like crazy, where a maintenance man can come in and they're not going to see that I have all of this stuff. And I'm just trying to hunker down and figure out how I do it. I'm trying to grow the food the way I can do it. I'm trying to think after good down how I could do it, where you could stretch the rules a little bit now. You can't grow that much on your balcony, but SHTF, you can do whatever you want to do, right? What is it that you could do to get as safe as possible? Because if you're saying that I cannot bug out, there's nowhere to go, I have nothing, well, I'm going to make my location work for me then, period, right? I'm definitely not laying down, and I'm going to go down with the ship, okay, at that point. And I'm not going to just give up. So I hope you guys are well. I'm about to go out here and probably mess with the chickens some more and see how they're loving the snow. I hope you guys are having a good week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Take care. Bye.